The egg crisis is going into overdrive as the federal government has butchered even more millions of egg layers. Milk getting scarce in California and more banks withholding funds for longer and longer. Watch the expiration dates on your purchases, but even then, things are increasingly going bad faster and faster. Your updates, your reports from all over. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. Good morning, and I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates, your reports coming in from all over the country as well as all over the world. Before we dive in, let's first thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people with retirement accounts to get into gold, silver, and platinum. If you don't have a retirement account, they also do help you with larger size purchases of gold, silver, and platinum. If you wonder whether your size is enough, feel free to reach out to them, and they'll let you know what they can do. That may work out for you as well. There'll be a link at the end of the video. They're great folks to talk with, and they'll answer your questions about gold, silver, platinum, as well as purchasing options and everything like that. There's a link at the end of the video, like I said. All right, so we've been watching what's been going on with these hens, right? We had a lull that suddenly said the bird flu's gone. There is no bird flu. We don't have any problems whatsoever. And then suddenly, at the beginning of April, we saw 1.9 million hens get put down. And then we saw an additional 1.9 million hens in Michigan get put down. And then we saw 2.1 million culled in Michigan as well. And then just 2 days ago, 2.4 million egg layers culled. Now, to add all that up, 8.5 million hens culled in the last just 1 month. Now, culled means they're killed and then they're buried. Like, there's no eating of the chicken. All the eggs that they've laid recently get thrown in the pit as well. And it's absolutely a complete waste. We see lots of eggs come right off the shelves. We see the hens themselves are not producing any more eggs for the foreseeable future. And particularly we're seeing it happen in Michigan. Now, the farmers get reimbursed quite generously. And by farmers, a lot of times these are commercial businesses, right? And this is going to really impact things. This is at the peak of the cullings that caused the egg crisis. We were seeing numbers like 5 to 6 million per month. And this is 8.5 million just in the last month. Is that going to impact egg prices? You had best darn tootin' believe so. And I'm warning you, egg prices are going up. So if you're in the U.S., egg prices are going to be going up more until people stop buying eggs, because there are just not enough eggs to go around. It takes 6 months to replace an egg-laying hen, and that's what we're looking at right now. We need to have no cullings for 6 months before the egg crisis will really, truly stabilize. Otherwise, we're just going to see that price just keep spiraling upwards until people stop buying eggs. And right now, people are just continuing to buy eggs. Janny says, I live in South Texas in the Rio Grande Valley. Several cities here have been without electricity. We got out of church and came home, no power. It's 5:30 now, still no power. We have no explanation from our power company. No storms, just no power. Friends, we are highly dependent upon power grids, aren't we? We trust that they're going to keep giving us energy. There's not going to be any problems, and it's really troubling to go without electricity for a while, isn't it? At first, it's like, okay, this isn't too bad, and then it gets dark, and suddenly it becomes a lot more of an inconvenience, right? You realize you don't have lanterns, you don't have as many flashlights as you thought you did, and the flashlights that you have, do you know where they are? Sometimes they don't have batteries in them. You know, we've all been there, right? You get startled by that, and then you start worrying about what's in your fridge and your freezer. Power is very important, and it's something that we all need to be thinking through how dependent we are upon it. If your food stores are basically in your fridge and freezer, that can be a problem. If you don't have battery backup, if you don't have power backup, can be a problem. Ranger Annie says eggs at Winco are now $2.68 a dozen, with a 2 dozen limit. That's a big one right there. Limit on eggs. That's in Sacramento, California. So California, limits on eggs. Anyone else seeing that out there? Of course, limiting is showing that the price isn't high enough, right? Anonymous nurse says a coworker of mine who banks with a small credit union and also lives in the line of totality of the recent eclipse had her bank account card closed. She was not informed until she went to make a purchase. When she looked into it, it was explained it was because the extra people in the area, I like that one, and suspicious activity on some cards. So she had to wait for her new bank card to arrive by mail. So why would the extra people affect her bank account? Does that make sense? It doesn't, does it? Why are the visitors from abroad using her bank account? Anyway, Kim says, California, milk in any form is very tough to obtain. This is at any store, even liquid creamer. Also, I placed a huge order with Walmart. It looked like a parade of miniatures. Even tomato sauce was changed to 8-ounce cans from the large 15.5-ounce cans. Everything's getting shrunk. And it's at the 15.5-ounce can price, the 8-ounce cans. Get your canned meats at Costco. Chicken breasts, chopped, and tuna is in 7-ounce, not 5-ounce cans. Costco did not shrink their products. So definitely watch shrinkage and make sure that you're getting the same amount. And we are seeing a lot of people reporting that even though they're getting the same size can, even though it says the same number of ounces on the outside, that inside they're getting a lot less of the good stuff, and they're getting more water, they're getting more gravy, they're getting more liquid, and this is a huge problem. So even though the can looks the same size, are you really still getting the same amount? And you need to really start looking at, if you're buying like chicken, look at the protein count. Or look at the calorie count, and then compare that to the old cans, compare that to other products. Just because the can's bigger doesn't necessarily mean you're getting as much chicken or stuff in the soup or whatever. It may just be more watered down. And we're getting a lot of word that that's happening with cat food as well. Daniel says, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Went shopping today. Sunday, barely any produce. I saw bread at $7. Yikes. Wow. Lots of items jumped way up in price since a week ago, and it's going to get worse. Stock up now, friends. Tomorrow's self is going to thank today's self for stocking up. That's where we are. Tomorrow's self is going to thank you today for taking action today. If you've stocked up, if you've put some stuff away in the pantry, if you've put away some food, you know that feeling as you look at the food that you've put away? It's a feeling of pride, isn't it? A little bit like, look, I have things. It's a feeling of security that if I can't leave the house, if they shut down the stores because of another bird flu or whatever, I'm going to be all right. Me and my family, we're going to be all right because we have food. It's a good feeling. It relieves stress, right? And you're going to enjoy that feeling over time. Hopefully you never need it, but with the way the world is, you probably are going to need it, right? Barbara says, my local credit union, where I've banked for 20 years, now holds payments on personal local checks for 3 days, regardless of my current balance. So, as they're saying, and some people have been out there saying, well, this is nothing new. They have always done that. No, not to Barbara, they haven't. She hasn't seen this before. This hasn't been what they've been doing, but now suddenly they're doing it. Like another poster, I do home care and rely on personal checks for payment. I went to the bank. The check was drawn on, and they charge a 2% fee to cash the check. We are not talking about large amounts, usually $300 to $400 range. I get paid on Friday, so if I don't get the check into my account on Monday, then it can be Thursday until I can utilize the money. This is Western North Carolina. We're hearing more of that. Banks are just holding on to the money longer so they can keep those deposits on their books. And that's troubling. Plots and subplots says, my local Walmart in Western North Carolina has been physically moving their shelves for wider aisles. Walked over and saw about 5 employees trying to move the aisle where they keep the limited furniture that Walmart sells, desks and other things. Noted that the iced items had already been reorganized, namely the popsicles, pushed all the way to one corner for a wall of ice cream, making it a little more accessible. The garbage becomes more accessible, and the good food, the produce and the meat and all that kind of stuff like that, is getting pushed away from the main traffic areas. This is what we're seeing at a lot of places. At Sunday, we're going through Revelation in our church, and there's a verse where it talks about how famine is going to come and how wheat and barley are going to get a lot more expensive. But then it says, do not touch the wine and the oil. And it's just this idea of the luxuries, the nice things, the enjoyable things, the luxury things aren't impacted in times of desperation. It's the staples that go up in price dramatically. And that's what it seems like we're seeing right now. The staples, the rice, the flour, these things are going up in price dramatically, while we're seeing luxury items, food-wise, are staying, they're going up a little bit. So they want you to buy the potato chips. They don't want you to buy the potatoes, right? And that's what we're seeing out there. Northern Nancy says, my Senior Advantage plan health insurance copays have really increased since last year. And last year, there were copay increases as well. Both years, small increases in my plan, which has a small premium, that also went up. So copays went up, premiums went up. What's up with that? Copays on tests also went up. So price increases, price increases, price increases, price increases. And it's never 3%, is it? Someone go tell the Federal Reserve that it's never 3% like they say. Someone go tell the dude in the House in Washington that it's never 3%. My power bill, when it goes up, it's never by 3%. When the water bill goes up, it's never by 3%. They need to stop lying to us, because they just look like idiots. Because everyone can see that it's not true. They think that if they can just keep repeating it, we're going to believe it. But you and I won't. Maybe there's a bunch of people that will actually believe it. I don't know. I don't see how, but I guess the people that don't actually have to pay for the groceries might believe it. Maybe the people that don't have to pay for their cell phones, who don't have to pay for their power, don't have to pay for their water, who don't speak English, maybe they'll believe it. and I think that that's what they're banking on. Wisp says, Texas, Walmart. Noticed some great value canned fruits my wife purchased were a different material finish than the others. The cans were different. Check the date code, Best Buy, October 24th. They were manufactured in late 2021 and early 2022. Where have these things been sitting? About half the 10 cans we got are like this. Double check. I'm surprised that these things have been in a warehouse for years without selling. Yep. Funny where they dig these things up, isn't it? And I wonder, I don't have anything to back this up, I wonder how many of those cans are relabeled. I'll just leave that one out there. They were manufactured by one brand, and then they get relabeled by another brand. They tear the label off and then slap a new label on there. If anyone has any information to back that up, please do contact me. If you have an update in general, please just use the word update in any one of your comments on this channel. You can put it on any one of the videos, just use the word update and give some sort of geographical location if possible. Michelle says, Steve, we live in northwest Missouri, about 50 miles outside Kansas City. We were at our local Aldi's yesterday, went to buy lemons, and almost every bag was full of spoiled lemons. They're not supposed to be spoiled. If you ever bought a lemon or a bag of lemons, I mean, they last a fair bit, especially if you put them in the fridge, right? Already spoiled or already hard as a rock. The store was low on a lot of vegetables as well as the bread supply. First time we have started seeing this. Also, our local big chain grocery store did not have any cilantro, and we're filling spaces with packaged greens. And notice that they are facing end caps and candy with candy and such. More garbage, less produce. And just like you, my heart hurts for not seeing as much cilantro out there because a salad with cilantro in it is just mwah, so good. Yeah, Aldi has not been stocking cilantro recently, and that's been hurting my heart. I know. Cilantro is a very controversial vegetable out there. Some of you guys absolutely hate it. You're like, it tastes like soap. Some people can't taste it good. Other people, it tastes good too. So I understand. Some of you are like, ugh, cilantro. But for those of you who are like me and it tastes good, it is fantastic, and I love it in salads and everything like that. But yeah, it's been hard to get that recently. I don't know why, but that's what it is. All right, friends, if you want to get more information from Genesis Gold Group about what you can do with your retirement or with some of your savings to protect it against inflation, there's a link right here that you can reach out to Jonathan and his team. They'll send you an information packet, and you can talk with them and get your questions answered. Don't feel like you're bothering them. If you have some questions and you'd like to get some more information, just reach out to them. If you want to check out another video from the channel, there's one right up there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.